I am curious because you've been doing it so long, and as have I. How you think things have changed? We're actually obviously talking at a kind of an somber moment for the country about, the uptick in political violence, the divisive rhetoric. We all feel that kind of, worry about the fraying of our communities. I'm just curious what you're seeing, and as an elected official, how you're feeling that. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your community? What are you doing and saying to people about this moment?
It's so tough. It's a great question. It's really a tough conversation now because our constituents don't often get to see that we break the fourth wall as Democrats and even Republicans and moderates and conservatives and liberals. They don't see that we respect and appreciate each other as people. So I think that because what happens is that we consume a lot of our information in headlines. And I always try to tell people, don't read just the headline. Make sure you read the body of the story, because the headline itself can be deceiving. We are reading headlines and not getting to the story, right? We're seeing D and R and liberal and moderate and conservative and this and that. And we're seeing labels and we're not talking to people. Right? Like there are colleagues, like I'm a Bronx Met fan. That's a rare thing, right?
Mm.
There are colleagues of mine who are on the other side of the aisle who are big Met fans. We can have a conversation about the Mets and be jovial while we're in the members lounge. But while we're on the floor, we're defending the needs and necessities of our constituents. And we do so amicably and respectfully. And when we get back in the lounge, they don't see that we don't dislike, that we hate each other. We don't hate each other. Right? I may not agree with anything that you're saying politically or anything that you're saying governmentally, but as a man, as a woman, I respect you. I respect your right to live. I respect your right to have an opinion. And I think that some of the people around us, that background noise, they're starting to become in the front, right? They're starting to subsume and suck the air out of what truly is something that should be based upon democracy comes out of dissent. Right? Dissent is the main tenet of democracy. So just because we disagree doesn't mean I hate you. It means that I disagree with you on this point. But tomorrow we can have a whole different conversation and we can connect again. And I think that sometimes people don't see it. And I think that it's up to us as leaders in government, as thought leaders like yourself, as people who really care to make sure that they know, look, even if we can disagree without being disagreeable. And that's something that I try to bring to my constituents.
Do you feel like they're asking for that? I mean, I think one of the questions out there for people is like, is that what people even want anymore? Do they want? I have an opinion about this, a strong opinion about this. But do you when you're talking to your constituents, do you think that they're looking for people who are able to work across the aisle, who are able to find common ground, or do you think that there's a lot of people clamoring for no, just I want you to fight harder, or is there somewhere between?
So it's different. It's like an option play in football, right? It depends on where you're at, where you are in the field, so to speak, right? In my incredibly deep blue Democratic district in the Senate, people are not necessarily looking for me to reach across the aisle on like at first glance. They want to make sure that their issues are taken care of. They need housing, right? They need food. They need jobs. They need good education for their children. That's what they need. Now, I will say that they're looking at it from a largely Democratic lens, right? Because of the population of our district and the voter registration of our district. But I don't think that they're saying it necessarily to say we want to demonize the other side. The problem is for what's galvanized a lot of folks for better or for worse in that way is the gentleman, or if you call him a gentleman, the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump, brings out something visceral in lots of folks where they're saying, this is someone who just doesn't respect the rule of law, doesn't respect diversity, doesn't respect women, doesn't respect the LGBTQIA plus community, doesn't respect people of color, doesn't respect any of it.
Yeah.
So why should we in turn be respectful? Well, it's like a parent told us 2 wrongs don't make it right, but people aren't seeing that right now. People are seeing that you passed this big, ugly bill that in a couple of years is going to take poor people and poorer people off of healthcare. It's cutting SNAP benefits. It's making things less affordable. So when people, high information voters like the ones in my community, they're like, no, we need you to fight against that. We need you to fight against that concept. Not necessarily the people, definitely against Trump, but
Yeah.
against that, yes.